Welcome to Saints Happy Hour podcast. We never skip a drink day.
Budrich wants to know how the doctor's doing.
That ended.
Now grab a drink and enjoy the show.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. As always, we are presented to you by Hard Hide, Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey, and Bev Test's Best Flavored Whiskey of 2025, Chilton County Peach Whiskey. I'm Ralph Malbrough. I got Kevin with me. Thomas is back in Poland editing the show after this, but we're recording now, Kevin. And listen, I want to remind people, if you find us on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and go to patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour. Sign up. It helps us to keep doing what we're doing. We appreciate everybody's support, and you get access to the Discord, which is freaking amazing. Kevin, we had at one point today, we had 47 people in there, and we were just talking Saints, and it was great. And it's just like, if you're like me and you enjoyed Twitter at like its heyday, like Twitter when it was good was one of my all-time favorite Saints things, because you could just talk Saints and it was great and it was fun. Now it's just I don't want to get it, but it's terrible. And our Discord can replace that for you if you
you can get your Saints itch scratch on the Discord. Right. It sucks that Twitter is the cesspool oh God. The ads are ubiquitous. The slop of all types is everywhere. And it's a shame that Blue Sky didn't catch on well enough.
I think
to draw enough people over.
Yeah, and I think, just to make a quick thing on social media, I think before the algorithms figured things out, people kind of figured out, like, if I make people mad, I get attention. But then the algorithms started to be like, oh, that's what people want. They want to be mad. So we'll monetize it, and we'll make the algorithm feed you stuff, and it's just not as fun as it was. But anyway, Discord's better. You should join us. So On today's show, Kevin, I me and you were kicking around topics for draft, and I said, listen, we're 4 weeks out for the draft when people see this, and we'll do some mock drafts. We'll do some mock drafts on the live stream, and you'll do a bunch of mocks as we close and get closer to the draft. But I wanted to, this week and maybe next week, before we start really getting into the mock draft of it, I wanted to get people familiar with as many names as we could for the Saints. And I know you're doing you're in the mock draft channel doing a ton of mocks. And I feel like all these players, I could name any player and you know them. So I said, Kevin, give me some sleepers. And you said, well, what's my range? I said, anything outside the top 100, which is basically the third round plus a couple of comp picks or whatever. So guys outside the top 100 that you like, and we're going to talk about them, and you're going to talk about why you like them, and I'll ask you questions on them. But for this draft, would you say, I know people say this draft is weak and all this, and it's not going to be as good as 2027. Everybody wants 2027 first round picks and yada, yada, yada. But when you look at this draft, when you get in like the meat of it, and I'm not talking about the top 10, 15 guys, but when you get in that meat of that draft, which like pick like 35 to like pick 150, 200, do you feel like it's weaker, or are you like, no, they got some really good guys in here? This draft, people are overblowing it. It's not nearly as bad as the tape nerds and other people say it is.
I think it's definitely feels weaker, but I don't know if I would go around screaming that this is a terrible draft and so on. Look, you're going to be the people that you get in rounds, 3 through 7, they're all going to have something wrong with them, wrong in air quotations. It's going to be something that they don't. Something that's missing. Either they weren't fast enough here, or some bodily measurement didn't didn't make this minimum thing. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there are guys that you could look at that'll have high RAS scores, but then you go and look at their height or their weight, and the height and the weight are like in the yellow. I mean, there are some guys that have a high RAS score like above 8, and then some of these numbers are somehow in the red.
I saw a dude, I don't know his name. I'll look it up right now. I'm going to look on my phone real quick. They had a dude with a RAS, and his RAS was 0.1. I wanted like 0.11. And I was like, I didn't think that was possible. I thought it was like the SAT where you got like a one and you got a point just for like showing up and being above ground, you know? But let's get to, I can't find it. So let's get to your first sleeper. Name him and tell me why you like him.
I have a sheet of paper here.
Mm-hmm.
Flicking the paper for the audience if they're just driving and listening to us, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unfolding it now. All right. So you said I'm putting heat on you. You said outside the top 100. I thought, hold my beer. Some of these guys are a little all over the map in a sense, but they're all well out of the top 100.
Mm-hmm.
Also of note, while I was looking into this, PFSN has really stepped up their game with their mock drafts and their presentation of draft prospects. Mm-hmm. They have closed. They may have passed PFF.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, PFF.
I think
like we're a month out. PFF has not loaded in their written notes for each player.
Yeah.
PFSN not only has written notes for players, they've got the trapezoidal graph with a bunch of with the statistics or with the characteristics for certain position players. They've got all the combine numbers in there. They've got RAS scores if they're available. They've got the measurements in there, and they've got written notes.
Yeah, well,
excuse me, and it's all just a beautiful presentation.
I'll say this before you get to your first guy. ChatGPT. Look, AI may destroy us. We may have nuclear war. We may not have jobs in a year, like all these AI techno bros.
Don't get me started on that.
But I'm going to tell you, like in the short run, like AI has been a boon for mock draft. Like because now you can go into the codex and you can tell the AI, "Hey, I want you to build this for me," and like. You just mentioned that those sites, other sites we won't even we won't mention because we don't want to leave anybody out or make anybody feel bad. But the mock draft sites are, I would say, like from last year alone, like 30-40% better, most of them. Like they're clearly leaning into the AI and getting the codex and getting the code stuff to write it for them, and it's doing amazing stuff. But anyway,
I mean, I'd like to know if we ended up talking to a mock draft, one of those people, like a programmer, and be like, hey, how are you guys building this? That would be a good conversation, or at least semi-interesting to me for 5 or 10 minutes. That's anyway, right. My first pick, or my first recommendation on the sheet here, and I believe I've mentioned him before in one of my mock drafts before, and I've probably mentioned him in other situations. Jagger Burton.
Ooh, yeah.
Center for Kentucky. Now, the thing about Mr. Burton that I like is, one, the Saints need a center. I know that the Saints have a center.
Yep.
But Eric McCoy is a guy who gets injured a lot, and
Yes.
and we need an insurance policy for that. We need the guy. We need the next man up. We need the guy waiting in the wings
Yes.
to be the main guy. So why not draft the successor now, and at the very least make him the backup. Plus, what I like about Burton is he has played guard. He's played left guard in 2024. He played some right guard in 2023. Last season he played nothing. He was center in all but 2 snaps when he played right guard twice. So I love his versatility. All right, what were you going to ask me? I was
going to ask you where's he slotted in?
So and I did this for just the two, just PFF and PFSN. PFSN actually has other mock draft averages, rankings for like CBS Sports, and I think Bleacher Report on there as well. I'm in the tank for them right now. I'm just so amazed at their turnaround. So PFSN has him ranked at 224.
Oh, that's
with an average draft position of 202.5. Again, average. So you're going to see decimals on this.
So that's about, when you add in the comp picks, that's probably 6th round?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, some of these, you're going to see some wild swings here between PFSN and PFFF, because PFF has him 141.
Okay.
Which is, he's somewhere in that Saints. Where the hell? Bless
4
you.
or 5 round. Yeah.
No. That's not 4. That's let me grab Discord because I just posted a mock draft before we went on. I ran the wrong one. Shoot.
So what's the disparity on it? What do you think what's the gulf between
so that would be round 4. The gulf, I mean, look, I haven't figured that out. I'm just not even going to try and bullshit an answer here. I haven't figured that out. I don't know. To me, it seems like there's no rhyme or reason, but there has to be some kind of reason. They just value different things. I'll say this. Burton has a RAS of 9.93.
Whoo! I mean,
now, if you want me to give you something, I'll give you here's the thing here's a potential drawback. Is something that I found. On his pro day, he did not do he didn't really do much in the combine.
Yeah.
But on his pro day, he hit 28 reps on the bench press.
Okay.
The bench press is 225 pounds. Mm-hmm. Now you say, you do 28 reps of 225. That sounds spectacular. Like 225 pounds, most people on this planet cannot bench press 225 pounds.
That's right.
Even once. Most cannot. So you would think 28 reps is really good. The average for a lineman is anywhere between 30 and 39.
Ooh. See, and that's the thing. I think I can deduce by that. I can tell you what is probably a big difference between these rankings. I think some ranking services or mock drafts will say, "Hey, you can get him in a program and get him strength," and other ones will say, "No, you can't. Like that's not. We don't believe that with his frame or whatever."
No, but he's a big dude. Like
I'll say this: like the 9 RAS.
Yeah, 993.
993. Like that is saintsy as hell. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if you told me, oh, he's got a 4.5, I'd be like, I won't get my hopes up. But him, like I'm marking him in with my yellow highlighter. Like he's got very much Saintsy potential. And like you said, Saints need they need a center. And I feel like it's strange to say this because listen, they had a ton of injuries last year on offense. Eric McCoy got injured again, but they were lucky as hell that they had Fortner. And I think having Fortner was a huge thing that stabilized the offense and was one of the underrated things that allowed Shuck to thrive. And if you go from McCoy to what you had in 2024, you're playing 2-3 other guys and it's just falling off a cliff. I think that's a problem. I would be absolutely delighted with this pick, Kevin. My question to you it is he's clearly got elite traits. Does he have anything at Kentucky that you read in the write-ups, like injuries, struggles? Like on a surface, you look at him, big dude, elite Raz. I know he's a center and they don't value centers, but still that feels kind of like a top 100, borderline 100 pick. What in the write-ups that you see where you're like, gives you pause maybe on why you wouldn't take him?
Well, I mean, just the strength thing. I mean, the bench press thing. You know, that's it. That's maybe an eyebrow raise. Nothing that like he's. What am I trying to say here?
Yeah.
Some of the numbers indicate that some of the numbers. And again, this is where you just start, if you start pouring into you can look at certain numbers and say, oh, well, this means this. Some of the numbers could give you the impression that he's just a guy. Mm-hmm. And he's just a guy. Now, I tend to just look at, again, I'm a vibes and numbers guy. I will never try to claim or pretend to be anything different, but the guy feels like he can be an immediate backup, plug-in guy, and have the potential at being a starter.
Yeah. And I'll say the final thing on this. Listen, his broad jump for Raz, 9.38. And I know a lot of people are like, what does broad jump have to do? Like, you don't broad jump when you play football. But the thing is, broad jump, teams view it as if you can have a good broad jump, it means that you have a lot of lower leg power, right? Because when you do the broad jump, right, you got to do it with your ass and your lower torso. Like and so they view it as like, oh, he can broad jump, he's got strength in the lower body. It's very important for a center. I would love this pick as a Saint. I feel like this guy, looking at him, I think the models that have him going higher or are correct. What's your next guy you got?
All right. We're staying in the SEC.
I like that.
We're going tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we need, like, I know we picked up Noah Fant. I know Juwan Johnson just had that with the contract and he looked good last year. He looked real good last year. But we're going to need a third guy. Like, I don't know what Foster Moreau's status is. I don't know what
he's a Texan. That's his status.
Oh, Moreau's gone.
Gone.
Oh, sorry. Well, why has this thing not been updated yet? I blame the ESPN depth chart, which I probably, you know what it was? I didn't hit refresh.
There you go.
That's what it was.
But it's gone. He's gone. So you need a tight end. So who you got for him?
Right. Because now I'm looking at Zaire Mitchell-Payton and Maliki Mataveo. So we need at least a third tight end who can come in and compete and potentially be the guy, because who knows how long Fant's really going to hang around.
Yep.
Yada yada yada. Anyway, my guy is Nate Borkircher, tight end out of Texas A&M.
Okay.
His PFF rank 158,
Okay.
which puts him as a fifth rounder. His PFSN rank 271,
Ooh, that's
which puts him outside of which puts him as a undrafted free agent potential. His average draft position is 171. So that would make him, I believe, early sixth. No, that couldn't be right. Early sixth? Round 5. Maybe it's round 5. I think maybe it's it's round 5. Sorry. Anyway, what have I got here? No res score on this guy. He did not do enough of the testing here. I'm looking at a whole bunch of things.
6'4", 250 though. Like that.
Right.
That's good size.
So here are the elite. Here's the things that I like. He has elite blocking skills. This is the thing that he's credited with, elite blocking skills. He has very poor weight, though. He weighs 245, which is very poor for tight ends. That puts him in the 21st percentile.
But he's 6'4", so in theory,
right now
you could
that
add some
no,
bulk.
according to the numbers that I'm looking at, he's listed at 6'5" and 5/8,
Okay.
which puts him in the 81st percentile, which is above average. His arm length is below average, but his hand size is elite.
Oh, he's got the big
10 and a half inches. So I look at that like that fits in with the blocking. So
right.
if he's highly touted as a blocker. He didn't do too good in the shuttle drill, but it's like, what are we asking tight ends for here anyway?
Yeah, and there's a play that you probably see it on ESPN during the draft and during things, and it's KC Concepcion. That's the Texas A&M wide receiver that people really like.
Yeah,
but they have a play that I've seen it on ESPN where they run a reverse, and your boy, you say his name, I'll butcher it. He lights a dude up blocking on this reverse for KC Concepcion. So like the blocking, Kircher, yeah, he lights a dude up blocking. So, so he can block. So my question to you is, where's he falling in the mocks, and where's he falling? Where's he falling in? Where do you think he'll go, if you had to guess?
Oh God. I mean, I would hope that with the PFSN saying 271. I'm sorry, with the rank, he's ranked 271. So the average draft position being 171, which is round 5, and in PFF putting 158, which is, I think, early round 5. I still think this is a guy that could. This is probably a fifth round guy, maybe a sixth round guy. Wouldn't surprise me if he was an undrafted free agent. I realize I've completely done the whole. Oh, he could go anywhere from any.
He could go
from over here.
These
all the way. But I know that's not a lot of me walking out on a limb here, but give me the 6th round.
Yeah,
give me the 6th
round.
If he's there, what do the Saints have? Let me look at the.
They have 2 4ths, 2 5ths, and a 6th.
I just want to see the number. All right, pick 190. He could very well be there at 190.
Yeah.
Now they've got him. They've got to pick 172, which would fall into the average draft position. If they took him at pick 172, I wouldn't. I don't believe I would call that a reach. If they took him at 190, I would be happy with that.
And he's in need.
But
and listen,
he strikes me as a guy that if he somehow fell through the cracks entirely, or if some team got him in the 7th round, or if he became a UDFA and some team picked him up, this is one of those guys that I would watch for the next couple of years to see how he does, to see if he makes a team and catches on. I just have a feeling like this could be a guy who's like predominantly a blocking tight end who catches like 2 touchdown passes a year in goal line formations and is like, you know, the offensive line loves him because he's like a 6th O-lineman. Running backs love him, that kind of shit.
And listen, listen, I know the salary cap has exploded and it's not, you know, for normal people, it's life-changing money, but like NFL, it's like middle class or even like lower middle class. But like, if you can prove yourself to be like a really good blocking tight end and catch 15 passes a year, NFL teams will pay you $7 to $9 million on like multi-year deals. You know what I'm saying? Like if he turned into like a top 15 or top 10 blocking tight end in the NFL, and that's all he did, and blocked and caught 15 Tyler Shuck passes a year and 2 touchdowns, in 4 years, the Saints would be like, yeah, we just gave him an extension. We just paid him 3 years, $23.5 million because he's awesome and he blocks and he's like a 6th lineman. So I love that. I love this pick. This sleeper. Who you got next?
All right,
your next one.
I'm telling you this right now. I've got 5. They're all different positions.
Okay.
They're all different positions.
Gotcha.
It's all offense. From Miami, wide receiver CJ Daniels.
All right. We need a receiver.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's what I like about him. 1, he's tall. He's 6'2".
Yeah, we need some size.
Right. So PFSN overall rank is 211.
Mm-hmm.
The PFF overall rank, and big disparity, 118.
Yeah.
The average draft position on PFSN's mock draft tracker has him about 136.
Yeah.
So it's like they have him ranked 211, but the mock drafters, you know, he tends to he shows up a lot higher in mock drafts.
Yeah. 37 catches, 420 yards, 7 touchdowns for Miami. It's decent.
Right.
You know.
He's a guy that can come in and immediately be a number 3. Now, I've said in the past that the Saints need a guy to come in and be a number 2. Now, if you look at his stats, his 2024 was left a lot to be desired. 2023 and 2025 are the better years. Like 2023, he caught over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 55 catches, 50 catches last season, 7 touchdowns. I wanted to double check and make sure that there was he had a lower leg injury in November this past year. So that limited him.
Yeah.
So that's
and listen, he does he's a willing blocker. He does sort of the dirty work. The Saints need that. And listen, obviously he's a sleeper, so he's not going to fix it.
If you want me to give, so I will also give you, because again, when I was looking all this stuff up, I'll give you the 2 knocks on this guy.
Okay.
He's below average. He's in the 48th percentile on hand size and the 49th percentile in arm length. So this would mean smaller. This could mean smaller catch radius.
Yeah.
You know,
the arms doesn't necessarily bother me, and it doesn't necessarily lead to the hand size for a receiver is a big deal.
Yeah.
Maybe he could get into the hand yoga. With Michael Tom, maybe he could do do extensive hand yoga and stretch out those fingers.
Yeah. This is a thing where I think he'll this is a guy who this guy, I think the numbers and the measurables and the potential, the lower body, the leg injury, this screams
Priority
low,
UDFA.
This screams low. No, this to me screams like even sixth rounder.
Okay.
But
I mean,
again, you're asking for sleepers. I'm giving you deep sleepers.
But listen, this is a thing where if they drafted CJ Daniels, they need more. They need more at receiver than just CJ Daniels. But my point is, if the Saints went and they say they drafted Tate at 8, which feels a little high to me, but let's say we get the dream scenario, Kevin, they trade down to 12, 16, and they go Lemon, or they go Bell at 42. Like adding a receiver in the first 2 rounds and then CJ Daniels, it's not a problem in the 6th round, because to me, this receiving core, you got Olave, you got Vele, and after that, you got an absolute clear path to make the roster, in my opinion.
Yeah, because at that point, you're your most tenured guys are Mason Tipton, Bub Means, and Kevin Austin Jr.
Yeah, and Jalen Polk, who
but Jalen Polk never even hasn't played it down yet.
Yeah, and he's a scratch-off ticket. Like, that's not
right. So unless the Saints know something, you can't. They've got it. The wide receiver position. That's one of those things where if you grab the right guy, then you only need to take one. If you took somebody like Mekhi Lemon, who again, I'm not the 5'11" thing.
Yeah.
You have to then roll the dice and pick somebody else later in the draft.
I would say no matter who you pick in this draft at wide receiver, not only would I approve of double dipping, I almost feel like I won't die on the hill that it's necessary.
Yeah.
But if the Saints came out after the draft and were like, we drafted Chris Bell and we really like him and we think he's going to be really good, and we're not worried about his injury, but we like CJ Daniels too. We felt like we needed more depth in that receiver room, so we double dipped. I'd be like, I get it. Like, I'm not gonna fight him on that. And I would argue that it's incredibly important for me and you's sanity. I don't want to be doing the preview shows on Friday, Kevin, where you are like, hey, Ralph, Chris Olave hasn't practiced all week. Do you know who the Saints' top receivers are going to be? And me and you, Thomas is playing the Jeopardy music, and me and you are going, oh, no, I don't know. Like, fix that is all I'm saying, Saints.
Yeah.
And this CJ Daniels would go a long way towards that. What's your next sleeper?
All right. We're staying with Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And we are looking at Inez Cooper.
Ooh.
He is a guard.
Yes, we need a guard.
He has played nothing but right guard his entire college career.
Okay.
What do the Saints really need on the O-line? Right guard.
Get Cesar Ruiz out of our lives.
A right guard. Yeah, I was about to be like, but Cesar Ruiz is saying, but guys, I'm the right guard. And suddenly it's that meme of that old anime where the guy with the big chin is putting his hand on his buddy's shoulder.
That's right.
Like saying, no.
What is that from, by the way? I see that meme all the time. I have no idea what that's from.
Yeah, I don't know.
But everybody knows.
I'm sure it's an obvious answer that some anime guy is like, oh, you guys, it was this. It was this.
But everybody knows what that meme is. Everyone knows.
Right. Everybody knows it's, hold up, friend. Anyway, right. We need a right guard. This is a guy who played right guard his entire college career.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the numbers in terms of the production, he's a guy that's going to be late. He's gonna be deep in the draft. PFSN, he's ranked 252nd. PFF has him ranked as the 206th overall player.
Okay.
His average draft position is 208. So let me get you the good shit, the
right.
elite stuff.
Gotcha.
He is in the 86th percentile for arm length.
Oh, we love it.
He's in the 96th. He's in the 96th percentile for weight.
Okay.
And he is in the 98th percentile for height.
See, that's to me. That's what
Now, there's no RAS score.
There's no RAS score, but here's to me when I'm getting into and we haven't touched on it yet, but this is when I get into these late rounds. To me, Kevin, and I should have asked you this question going forward, but I'll ask you on this one. I care about, does he have incredible college production or does he have traits? Like you got to check one of those boxes. Remember last year, I'll give you an example. You were all over Devin Neal. He was one of your darlings. Is that fair to say last year?
Some of that stuff got
blurs.
See, I know you're trying to give me a compliment. And don't get me I know I should accept the compliment, but I can't remember with genuine certainty that he feels like a darling to me.
You picked Devin Neal a bunch in my.
I know I did pick him a lot. Yeah.
And we talked about him and his measurements weren't great. But I remembered one of these podcasts, you were like, dude, he's at Kansas and he's setting records at Kansas. You know, he's not playing with a great cast. I like that. So that's my thing with these guys.
Yeah.
Give me something where you're like, he's got these great physical traits. Maybe the Saints can make something of that. Or he kicked ass at a major school for 2-3 years. And I'm going to bet on that, even though so you're saying he's got the physical traits.
I'll give you a stat that I just found here. In 2025, he allowed just 10 drop back pressures.
Wow.
And a 3.3% pressure rate. Now, what does a pressure rate mean? I don't know.
It's about, the thing is, that's one of those things that it grinds my gears, because pressure rate is one of those things, they dress it up like it's a statistic, but it's not really a statistic. It's a grade. Because because you can watch the film and say, oh, that's a pressure. And I could watch the film, or people that tape me, one of them can say, oh, that's a pressure. And the other one will say, that's not a pressure. It was fine. So that's not I hate the pressure rate and stuff, because especially for linemen, because I'm like, well, who did the grading? And so anyway, I like this too with this guy. 3,100 snaps in his college career, durable, and I feel like guard.
And he's big. Give me a durable, big bastard. If he can come in there, and he is equal to or close to Cesar Ruiz, I'm waving goodbye to Cesar Ruiz.
That's right. And the thing is, Cesar Ruiz, they could cut him in July, create some cap space, do some stuff. And here's the thing, the Saints, he's a coach now for the Saints, but they drafted Will Clapp in the 7th round. A Will Clapp in the 7th round, I won't call it a home run, but it's definitely a double off the wall, where you find a guy who's a borderline starter in the NFL and carves out a 5 to 8 year career. That's a win. And
if you do in the 6th round,
yes. Is it a home?
That's a big ass W.
Yeah. And to me, Kevin, you to me in the NFL, we've done this podcast for damn near 20 years, the one thing that I've come to realize is when you look at these teams, you have to look at it and think to yourself, if this team has 4 or 5 injuries, 2 or 3 on defense, 2 or 3 on offense, do you feel good about your backup guard, your backup right guard, and your backup left tackle. Do you feel good about that for a couple of weeks? And to me, the Saints offensive line does not have enough dudes where we're like, it'll be okay. Like, not for a season or whatever, but like, hey, Edwards, the free agent, the guy, he's played great for 6 weeks, but he's going to be out for 2. Can they shuffle the line around and Cooper plays okay? And then in 2 weeks, when Edwards gets back, we're like, man, Cooper, he wasn't a disaster. That alone would be worth a 6th-round pick, So the Saints need more guys on the offensive line that don't scare us and make us fear disaster. I like the fact that you're going Miami Hurricanes too. That's nice. Back to back Hurricanes. We appreciate that. Go ahead.
I think they're still in the ACC. I am sticking in the ACC. Well, no. The next team.
Okay, next one.
I'm sticking in the ACC.
Okay.
I hope they're still in the ACC. Now, I'm giving you a deep, deep sleeper.
Oh.
I'm talking the dwarves from Lord of the Rings dug deep in the mountain, and after they unleashed whatever the hell that fire thing was that killed Gandalf, beneath that, they find this guy sitting there.
Wow.
All right. Adam Randall.
Yes.
Running back, Clemson.
Love it. Need a running back.
The Saints are going to need a running back in the room.
Yes, right.
Either Kendra Miller's going bye-bye or maybe we're reducing Kamara. Hell, who knows? Maybe Kamara decides he's going to retire. I don't know. But they should get a running back somewhere.
That's right.
So why not grab this guy? I've got average. Okay. PFSN overall rank 200. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong guy. Sorry. 283.
Okay.
Overall rank. The PFF ranking, his overall ranking is 326. So he is ranked as a UDFA. Now his average draft position, 186.9. Mock users get him at about 195. So he is, again, late 6th round in some respects on the mock drafts. But this is a guy that I think is probably going undrafted.
9.49 RAS.
Yeah. Wait, 9.49? The thing I'm looking at says 9.26.
All right. Well, even still, that ranks him about 108th out of 2,100 running backs since 1987. I mean, he's got elite size and elite size and 6'2", 233 and explosiveness.
99th, he's in the 99th percentile for height. He's in the 82nd percentile for weight, 86th percentile for hand size, 89th percentile for arm length. I'll give you another one here on strength.
Mm-hmm.
He did the bench press. We're circling it back around to the bench press. Remember how I told you the offensive lineman did 28 reps of 225? This is a running back. He did 26 reps of 225. That puts him in the 91st percentile for running backs.
Yeah.
So you have a strong, big guy who has impressive hands and arms. And I'm telling you, if this guy goes in this is another one of those guys. If he goes in the 7th round or if he goes undrafted, I want to watch him for 2 or 3 years and see what's doing with him.
I mean, listen, he's a guy. This is a guy looking at him. I could see a scenario where you get, like you said, Kendra Miller out of here and Kamara retires sometime in July, right? And the Saints don't draft a running back, and he is this guy was like a priority UDFA. I can see us in our adopted UDFA Sun draft fighting for this dude as the number one pick, because suddenly you look at it and you're like, hey, you got Achane, you got Devin Neal, and you got nothing else. And Adam Randall, my friend, you got a clear path to this team if you can just show us a little something in the preseason. I like this pick. And you know me. I'm a whore for the Raz. Like, I know people knock the Saints for doing it, but I'm a slut for physical traits and dude that have the measurements. So I love this. I love this pick. I love the sleeper.
Yeah. So let me. So he was brought in to Clemson as a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So that explains the hands and the arms. So, which means at the very least, if you bring him in as a running back, he can catch passes.
Yeah.
He can catch all damn day. Now, He was a running back for only one season, his senior year, and that was it. So, 814 rushing yards, 254 receiving yards, 13 total touchdowns.
Yeah.
He was also doing kick and punt returns.
Another pass.
He did some kick and punt returns.
So
at the very least, this is a guy that if you take him late, you got a kick punt return guy, or you've got a guy who could be easily your number 3 running back, potentially fighting for number 2, depending on what you're doing with Kamara. And Kellen Moore could be looking at different offensive situations. Why not take a guy who was brought into college as a wide receiver and then converted to a running back? Like, I'm sure Kellen Moore could dream some things up for this guy.
Yeah, and I'll say this: like when they say, "Oh, I got a running back, he can't pass protect. He didn't do it in college." My thing with pass protection is that is almost entirely a want-to thing. Like, if a running back in the NFL decides, I want to be good at pass protection or decent, they will make themselves decent. And as a low round pick in a UDFA, I bet you he'll work his ass off, and I bet you he'll get better at it. Yeah. And listen, I just think, if he's not drafted and he's a priority UDFA, I don't know who's picking. I forget who's picking first in the UDFA Sun draft. But this guy would be potential number 1 pick. And listen, another thing, like, the Saints need it. He's a sleeper. And listen, to the old conventional wisdom, which the Saints proved last year, you can find useful running backs in the 6th and 7th round, whereas like other positions, offensive tackle, you ain't finding shit in the 6th and 7th round. Pass rushers, you ain't finding shit because they're all gone. But like running backs, like, you can find useful dudes, and we can just go through it with the Saints, Chris Ivory, Pierre Thomas, like UDFA guys. Like, you can find useful running backs in this range of the draft. I think, Kevin, of all the dudes you picked, of all the dudes you talked about, I think Adam Randall might be, I think he might be my favorite. And the tight end from Texas A&M, even though I hate the Aggies, like, I feel like those are 2 guys. Like, if you made me pick 1 or 2 of these guys, the center, I could be wrong. I don't think he's going to be a sleeper. I think he's going to go a lot higher than we think. But like, is like pure sleeper guys. The tight end from Texas A&M, Borkercher, or Adam Randall. I think those are my 2 favorites of all these guys. If I said to you, you could pick 2, they're going to be on the Saints, either drafted or UDFA. You can't have all 5. You get to pick 2. Which 2 do you want before we get out of here?
Which 2?
Yeah.
Pull that back out of my throw-out bag. Put me down. Now, will they be starters?
No. I'm not even saying so, but like you just get to have them on the roster.
You just get to have them and see what happens.
You get to have them and see what happens.
Give me the last two I said. Give me Inez Cooper, the guard. Give me Adam Randall, the running back.
Yeah, I just, and maybe we'll be proven wrong. I just look at Yager Burton, and I just think he's going to be a top 150 pick. Thomas, check the timestamp on that. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy this. I love this draft stuff because Kevin is he knows all these names. He's always prepared, and he does 1,000 mock drafts. I love it, and it gets me prepared, and I hope it does for you guys in these late rounds, because as you listen to these shows and these podcasts, they talk about the top 10 receivers. They talk about, the top of the draft, and they'll talk about the Saints some, but you never get like the deep cut on what the Saints need from national podcasts. So I hope this helped you out. And Kevin, I always appreciate it, my brother. Excellent job as always. Get in the Discord with us. Get in the Discord, become a patron, get in the mock draft channel. Kevin is always hanging out there. I'm popping. As we get closer to the draft, I pop my head in more. But thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for Thomas for doing the post-production editing and making this podcast look amazing. Thanks to Kevin, and thanks to you guys for supporting the show. And until next time, the bar is closed.